All right, welcome to the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. I believe we are streaming live right now. This is Dan Dix here from Press for Truth. We're going to be doing a live Q&A today, taking questions from the YouTube chat and also from Steemit at steemit.com. So I'm just going to share this link right now and post it on Steemit so people can start getting their questions in over there. If you're following me on Steemit, I'm at Press for Truth. Let me go ahead and post that. And if you'll bear with me for 1 sec, I'm going to share this link around a little bit, let people know we are live. Post this on Facebook right now, and then I'll just quickly tweet it out. And if you guys could do the same, it's greatly appreciated. Let people know we are live. Going to be talking all things Bitcoin, all things cannabis. So much going on in both of these sectors right now. So let me just make sure. All right, we got some people tuning in. Hi, Antonio. Hi, Barry White. Ian, Oliver, everybody. All right. Hello, hello. All right, be sure to get your questions in. Anything you want to know regarding the title topics, Bitcoin, cannabis. Of course, we're hearing a lot about Bitcoin in the news lately. We got countless media pundits, people on TV calling it a bubble, just, screaming about the fact that everybody's got to get out now, saying that it's being used for terrorism, it's being used solely for transporting purchasing drugs and laundering money and this and that. And it's really kind of crazy, actually, this sort of hype surrounding Bitcoin right now, comparing it to the tulip bulb mania, which I don't really think is a good comparison. It's not fair whatsoever. In fact, I wrote a post just last night on my Facebook pointing out the fact that if you think Bitcoin's a bubble, then what about something like art? Contemporary art, for example. Is that a bubble? I mean, a Leonardo da Vinci painting just sold for over $450 million. I mean, why aren't media pundits going, this is a crazy bubble. Get out now. Sell your Da Vincis. It's going to be worth nothing tomorrow. No, it's because it has scarcity. It has there's supply and demand there because of that. It's a globally recognized piece. It has a store of value. So that Saudi prince who purchased this Da Vinci painting is probably going to be able to turn a pretty good profit on it if he ever sells it in the future. And Bitcoin's really similar. It's got scarcity. Its price peaks are all come because of a supply and demand. It has global recognition now. It's a store of value. All the same things. But again, here we have the media pundits screaming that this is a bubble. It's time to get out now before you lose it all. Well, they're not saying the same thing about the art bubble, if we can call it that, which I don't think is a real thing. I don't think the price of that is going to go just all of a sudden crash. It's going to continue to go up, just like Bitcoin is. Now, I just want to make sure that I have shared these things. Bear with me, guys. I know I have some people on Facebook asking for a link, and I want to make sure I get this properly posted to Steemit as well. Okay, here comes a link. And guys, if you are not familiar with Steemit, let me make sure we're good to go over there. I'm going to refresh my page every now and then to see if we have any questions coming in. Okay, I already have a question coming in from Steemit, from Antonio Anderson. Asks, what's your thoughts on Bitcoin Cash? All right, thank you so much, Antonio, for the question. Once again, if you're not following me on Steemit yet, head on over to steemit.com/@pressfortruth. And I'm live over there taking questions as well. First question today, what do I think of Bitcoin Cash? Well, I think that just to bring people up to speed, obviously we had a fork on the Bitcoin blockchain back on, I think it was in August 1st of this year, where the Bitcoin blockchain split and it forked into a separate blockchain because there was a dispute amongst the community about how to deal with scalability issues when it comes to transaction times, transaction fees with Bitcoin, because so many people are climbing into the space. The system is bogged down. The network is essentially become slow and expensive. And there was a bit of a debate about how to deal with this issue. Um, and Bitcoin Cash presented itself as an alternative, as a solution to having faster transactions, lower fees. And the creators of Bitcoin Cash would argue that this was the original intention of Satoshi Nakamoto's creation here for a digital currency, because Bitcoin can't be used as a currency if it's so extremely volatile and it takes so long to do transactions and so forth. So Bitcoin Cash, I think, is important to look at and to hold. If you're in the Bitcoin space and you didn't happen to have your private keys protected for yourself before August 1st, then you wouldn't have had access to those Bitcoin Cash coins. But I think it's still a good buy, and it's still a good idea to hold some. I would basically suggest going, I don't know, maybe 50-50 or 75-25. I'd say hold 75% of Bitcoin and maybe throw 20% or something into a Bitcoin Cash, because it is faster, and I think people may use Bitcoin SegWit as a store of value to protect their assets, and then might use Bitcoin Cash for transacting amongst friends. I mean, I had a purchase I wanted to do just the other day, but I didn't want to. I decided not to do it because the fees on this particular purchase didn't make any sense. But if that person had a Bitcoin Cash wallet as well as a Bitcoin wallet, I could have just said, you know what, let's just do Bitcoin Cash for now, because it's cheaper, it's faster, it's easier. So I like it. I know Roger Ver. He's pretty much spearheading the Bitcoin Cash project. In fact, my whole reason for getting into Bitcoin was because of Roger Ver. He gave me my first Bitcoins. He took my phone and he set up an app and he gave me some Bitcoins back in 2014, and that's how I first got exposed to it. He is now the guy who basically is spearheading this Bitcoin Cash fork. But you know what? That's what happens in a truly open, free market. We're witnessing something now that we've never seen. This is uncharted territory. I mean, what we're witnessing now in this space has never been done. So we're going to see free market alternative solutions pop up to all sorts of various problems. And yes, there's going to be debates within the community. But you know what? The free market will figure it out. And that's one of the beautiful things I'm seeing with cryptocurrencies. Steemit right now is just blowing my mind. I don't know if you guys realize that one SBD dollar is trading for around 16 times its worth right now. I don't know why, but I'll take it. It's been quite an amazing few payouts the last couple of weeks. If you got any questions about that, I can fill you in. I'm essentially buying Bitcoin every 3 or 4 days. I have been for the last year, with not a single penny coming out of my own pocket. And I've managed to amass a pretty decent amount of Bitcoin over the last year by writing and posting on Steemit, earning Steam dollars for those posts, trading those Steam dollars when I get them for Bitcoin, and then holding that, and then sometimes selling the Bitcoin for fiat cash if I need it. And it's been unbelievable. I mean, 16 times. My posts now are averaging sometimes around 100 Steam dollars per post. So that's a lot of money. It's $1,600 that I'm getting in a day by posting over on Steemit. So this is a game changer for independent media. This is changing everything. Cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin are changing everything. I mean, I used to, warn about these things in the early days. I've got videos of me screaming about Bitcoin in 2012. saying, you know, it's an oligarchy elite Trojan horse designed to enslave humanity under the blockchain, and there still may very well be some truth to that. Like, I do realize things are heading in that direction, but is Bitcoin going to be the one to enslave everybody? I don't think so. I think there's going to be a lot to come and go. There's going to be some trial and error. There's going to be some grappling for positions on who's going to maintain the power here to issue currency. That's essentially what it comes down to. The world has changed in the last few years. I mean, just think about traveling with money. Do you remember when you used to have to declare, if you had 10 grand on you, if you were traveling into another country, and they might scrutinize you and look into that for you? Well, you don't have to anymore if you have that stored in Bitcoin. If they ask you, oh, are you transporting more than 10,000 currency on your person? Well, no, it's not on my person. The Bitcoin is stored on the blockchain. So no, I don't have any Bitcoins on me, and that's all you have to say. So you can travel with hundreds of thousands of dollars because you're not taking it anywhere. The Bitcoins are in the same place as they were before you got on the airplane, and they're going to be in the same place they are after you get off the airplane. So it really doesn't matter anymore. So these regulators right now, and these securities, they're freaking out, trying to figure out how to regulate this. And the ICO market, oh my God, here in Canada, they're freaking out about ICOs because people are raising hundreds of millions of dollars. This is putting venture capital, raising traditional, rounds of fundraising are becoming obsolete. And they want to figure out how to cash in on this, how to control it, and how to make sure that they're not missing out on this. So, unbelievable what's going on lately in this space. Okay, I'm going to try to scroll through and look for question marks. There's a lot of comments. Somebody asks, how about IOTA or Hashgraph? I'm not exactly familiar with Hashgraph. I've been paying a little bit of attention to IOTA over the last few days. I generally, when I scan my CoinCat app, I've got about 10, maybe 15 cryptocurrencies in mind that I'm constantly paying attention to the prices, and I add a few to that every day, and I'll probably add IOTA to that now, start paying attention to that a little bit more. But there's so many of them, and I've managed to, by diversifying my portfolio, by getting into some of the altcoins and not just Bitcoin, I've managed to increase my portfolio quite substantially in the last three months, just by diversifying into some other cryptos. Let's take a quick look at the current market cap. We got, I'm interested in Bitcoin. I'm interested in Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Dash, EOS, Monero, Stellar. Lots of interesting things. Lately, I've been looking at BitShares, Verge, Bytecoin, Steam, obviously, has been doing incredible. So these are some of the ones I've been paying a little bit more close attention to. See if we got any more questions. And of course, anybody who wants to throw me a super chat, it would be greatly appreciated, and we will get to that question guaranteed. Also, if you want to check the links in the description, that's where you can find out how to donate Bitcoin or Ethereum, or sign up as a PFT patron at patreon.com/pressfortruth, or there's a Patreon alternative link there where you could sign up for a monthly amount, pick any amount you like, and that's a great way to contribute to alternative media to help us continue doing the work we're doing. Okay, a lot of comments so far. Not so many questions. Agenda 21 rollout 85% population reduction, says Barry White. Yeah. So how can the lady get prison to send Bitcoin to ISIS if they can't see it? Wake the F up. Yeah, so Someone just made a comment about some lady apparently funding ISIS with Bitcoin all over the news. Okay, well, I heard about a lady funding ISIS before this person with Bitcoin. Her name's Hillary Clinton, and I think if the media pundits want to really go after somebody who's making a difference with ISIS as far as their funding and training, aiding and abetting, I mean, cradling, molding, and shaping, Hillary Clinton should be investigated, not somebody moving some bitcoins. I mean, that's the weird thing about all these claims about the illegal activity. I mean, cash can be used for illegal activity, and they are going to try to wipe that out too someday. Because right now, cash is king. If you make a transaction with Bitcoin, it's still on the blockchain. You know, it's transparent on the open ledger for everyone to see forever. With cash, you can still make transactions without a single person knowing, only you and the other party who accepted the cash. And that's truly where it's at. So that's where they're going to try to wipe wipe people out. I have like $200 in Bitcoin, but transaction fees are too high. It says Saul Goodman. Yeah. It is pretty crazy right now, and that's why it's odd the amount of disputing going on within the community, the Bitcoin core. Obviously, something needs to be done if they want to be able to scale this properly. How can I sell my Litecoin and Ethereum in Canada? Any platforms? Yes, Cliff Harding. Thank you for the question. A good way to do this, there's a number of ways you can do it. I'm pretty sure Changelly, CHANGELLY .com, I believe, is the site, will exchange any of those cryptos, Litecoin, Ethereum, into Bitcoin, obviously, and then you can cash out your Bitcoin. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, if you want to do it online, in Canada, is at localbitcoins.com. You set up an account there, and then you post that you're going to be selling, after you changed your Ether and your Litecoins into Bitcoin, deposit those Bitcoins to localbitcoins.com, and then put out an offer saying I'm selling this much, and then you'll have somebody buy it off you there. And it's a fantastic system they have worked out there. You don't release the Bitcoins from your wallet to the other person until the funds are actually in your account. When you get I do mine direct transfer straight into my bank account, where they do either an international wire transfer or an e-transfer, where they set up a security question and a password. They give me the password to the security question. I log into my TD Bank. I answer the question. Boom, the funds come into my account. At which point I say, okay, now I release the Bitcoins to you, and the transaction is done. So it's a great way. There's also Quadrica, I think it's called. I'll see if I can post a link for you. This is a Canadian site that's really good for purchasing Bitcoin with, and you may be able to sell here as well. So let me just throw this into the chat for you. So check out that one, and then also check out localbitcoins.com. That's one of the best ways to do it. Okay, I'm going to hop on back over to Steemit for a moment, hit refresh, see if we got any new questions coming in over here. Somebody says, 2 of my favorite subjects, Bitcoin and cannabis. Alex says, I absolutely love cannabis. Bitcoin's the most powerful digital gold it is. All right, no new questions over here, but we did come here to talk about both Bitcoin and cannabis, and we've been talking a lot about Bitcoin, so let's move on over to the topic of cannabis legalization in Canada, or the lack thereof. As many of you know, our Prime Minister has been leader for well over a year now, and he wrote in on that weed ticket. He promised legalization the moment he gets in, and lo and behold, as me and my friends have been trying to warn the cannabis community, it was a ruse, and everybody got tricked. And he is still, to this day, putting people in jail for victimless crimes, and they're really essentially getting their ducks in a line. As I've been saying for years now, in order to monopolize the industry and to have Marijuana Inc. take over the mom and pops. And some of you may recall from my documentary, The Trudeau Deception, where I called out in that film. It's a 10-minute long documentary film that I made where we called it. We showed exactly what's going to be happening. They're going to go through the Liquor Control Board of Ontario. That happened. We said they're going to go through the liquor stores here in Canada. That happened here in British Columbia. And in that video, I interviewed Mark Emery. I've spoken with Jody Emery and Mark Emery a number of times, but this particular time, I challenged Mark and I said, look, how do you know Trudeau's not going to, just make things worse for us here? You're pushing for him under this weed ticket. What do you know about his foreign policy? What do you know about his concepts on monetary reform? What do you know about what he wants to do in the Middle East? And Emery just said, your concerns are not my concerns, famously now. Because, I think he's concerned with my concerns now. He just had to plead guilty yesterday to charges. Let me just pull up an article I just saw this morning. Pot activist Mark and Jody Emery plead guilty, sentenced in drug-related court case. Prominent pot activists Jody and Mark Emery pleaded guilty to a number of drug-related charges, which fined them $195,000 each. The pair also received 2 years probation and cannot participate in the running of illegal marijuana dispensaries. So there you have it. I mean, it's awful. I don't mean to laugh, obviously. It's terrible what's happening to Jody and Mark. But I can't help but have this I told you so moment. I mean, we were literally, practically screaming at the top of our lungs to them that what they're doing is dangerous, by getting the youth behind Trudeau and the Liberals to vote in on this weed ticket was going to burn them. And here we are. They are now, not able to take part in the cannabis community that they've worked so hard to build. They are going to have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars, between the two of them. And prohibition needs to end. It's absolutely awful what's happening, but it needs to be done in the right way. That's why I support guys like Chad Jackett, who started the Cannabis Growers of Canada. This is essentially a lobbyist group who's going to represent the BC growers, the people who built this industry over the last couple of decades, developing these strains that have become globally recognized brands. And they're going to be representing all those people, going up against the government to ensure that legalization is done in such a way that is not going to wipe out the people who built this industry. Because that's what they're trying to do right now. That's essentially what is taking so long. They have to make sure that that all the little guys are going to be wiped out, and they're the only ones who are going to prosper and profit off of this. So I want to include the link to the Trudeau Deception as well. I hope you guys have seen that. If you haven't, please check it out. I put it out a couple years ago. In fact, it's probably a good time now for a Trudeau Deception follow-up. Maybe I should do a Trudeau Deception Part 2. Because, yeah, as I said, we're nowhere near seeing cannabis legalized. I think the last announcement they said was going to be July 1st, 2018. I think is the next date that they pushed this off to. But don't get your hopes up, people. Yeah, it's not looking good. Somebody says, oh, okay, I thought that was a question. It's a comment. Well, cannabis CBD oil will save your life if you have cancer and vitamin B17. All right. I'm not seeing too many other questions. I'm just going to quickly scroll through. I have a lot of comments, though, so bear with me. Scroll through. Again, share this link if you haven't already. Send it out on your Twitter, your Facebook, and your Steemit. And again, guys, if you're not on Steemit, you're missing out. I mean, it has been incredible. I'm going to quickly just pull up my Steemit wallet because anybody's wallet is public. Ooh, I have new points to redeem. And every time that I log in here to Steemit and I see that, I just get so excited. I mean, it's trading, one SBD dollar is trading for around 16 times right now. So it's unbelievable. I've made $3,000 or $4,000 in the last week on Steem dollars if I sold it today. Of course, a lot of people think, oh my God, you must be doing really well then, making all this Bitcoin money and Steemit dollars and everything. And it's, you know, it's yes, this is an investment that I'm building a portfolio with, but you don't make anything until you actually sell some stuff. So hopefully this continues to go well, but obviously it all comes down to getting out at the right time. Question: who do we have that could fix Canada in our political lineup? Mike Johnson asks. Well, I don't know that we do have anyone right now, and I've gotten to the point where I don't know that we're gonna get anyone. And even if we do have someone that appears to be that person, just history and experience tells me we're going to get screwed either way. So I've more so in my understanding of things gone more of the anarchist philosophy way. I have yet to vote. I've never ever voted, and I'm actually quite proud of that because I can honestly say that, you know, all this crap we're seeing can't be blamed on me because I didn't take part in this system. People who voted in Trudeau, well, you're partially responsible for him being in there. And it comes down to that lesser of evils, you know, question. You know, do you pick the lesser of evils? Well, evil is evil, and both evils, I don't think is necessary to have to choose from. So I don't know. I'm not hopeful that there's going to be some new, you know, honest, good politician who's going to come in there and save the day. I'm sure at this point we're being played for a bunch of fools, much like it is in many other parts of the world. Okay, let's scroll through, see if I could find a few more questions. Good answer. Thank you. Barry White says, Jesus is going to be setting matters straight very, very soon now. Is Bitcoin a gateway to a cashless society? Says Ronnie Girl. Is Bitcoin a gateway to a cashless society? Excellent question. It is. I mean, it isn't a question of is it. It is. I mean, the world has changed. Cashless society is all of a sudden here. This is something I've been warning about for decades, explaining that this time was going to come, and sure enough, we are seeing it. I think, as I always imagined it would be, is still, you know, a pretty long ways down the road. I think we may still be 10, 20 years away from a truly cashless society where, you know, two people can walk out in the street and exchange dollar bills or coins. That being completely phased out is going to take a long time, but it is in the works. It's absolutely in the works. And I think eventually digital cash will be the only way to trade and transact. It goes back to that right on back to the Bible, in fact, the book of Revelation, saying there will be a time in the future when no man will be able to buy or sell lest he have the mark. And, even just 100 years ago, it would be so hard to fathom that prophecy for people in the 19th century or 20th century to think, how could there be a time when nobody in the world could buy or sell unless they're part of this system, this mesh system? And, well, now in the 21st century, with things like blockchain technology, it starts to make a little bit of sense about how that could actually be a possibility. And so, yeah, I do think we are leading in that direction. Is Bitcoin the one? I don't necessarily think so. And I used to be very, very cautious of the fact that it was a Trojan horse. In fact, I've got a lot of videos from me back in 2012, 2013, going to Bitcoin conferences and stuff. I went to a Bitcoin conference in Toronto in, I think it was 2012, and I was doing a whole bunch of interviews with people in the Bitcoin community. And my opening question was to all of them was, how do we know this isn't a Trojan horse? Being designed to have the anarchist and libertarian communities fall for it. My understanding of it over time has changed because of my understanding of the blockchain and in particular Bitcoin's decentralization and how it essentially can't be stopped. They tried to stop Bitcoin exchanges in China, for example, but it's the stupidest thing. I mean, if you have access to the internet, you have access to Bitcoins. You just use a different exchange. So this is something that can't be stopped, and I do see a lot of financial institutions, banking institutions, governmental institutions flooding into this space in an effort to have controlled, centralized cryptocurrencies. Look at Venezuela. They just announced their own cryptocurrency, but it's nothing like Bitcoin. It's a centrally planned cryptocurrency that's just going to rob the people probably even more than their traditional fiat was able to. Russia has announced the creation of a cryptocurrency. These are their versions of the Bitcoin that's going to be centralized and controlled. But yeah, they're going to have to destroy Bitcoin somehow before they can issue the one world global digital currency. All the others, all the altcoins, Bitcoin, all of them are going to have to be wiped out before that can happen. So yeah, there's going to be bubbles here and there. There's going to be ones that grow to be really big. There's going to be ones that pop. But I think we're a long way away yet from seeing a time where we will be forced into a digital cash global system. But I do see that time coming. All right, see if we get any other questions. Let me head on back over to the Steemit as well. Quickly refresh my blog here. Okay, we got 5. Let's see if any of these are questions. Okay, no new questions over at Steemit just yet. But my post, folks, at Steemit is already up to $25. 25 SBD. Now, the way this works is half of that will go into my Steem dollars, half of that goes into what's called Steem Power, which gives me curation power, the ability to earn rewards through upvoting other people's content, commenting on somebody's content, liking somebody's content. I have the ability to give you SBD dollars. Now, that doesn't come out of my wallet. It's just generated by the site through the creation of new content. And that's where this thing is so cool. It's not a Ponzi scheme because you don't have to put anything in up front. I have never invested a single penny into Steemit, and I've already made thousands of dollars. Right now, I've just posted this link 34 minutes ago, and it's already up to 25 SBD. Half of that will be deposited into my account in 7 days from now. That's how it works. And I will be able to cash that out. I can do what I want with that. And right now, that is trading at 16 times. So half of that is around 12. 12 times 16 is 192. That's about 100. We're talking about a couple $100. By the time this post is done, it'll be more than 25. We're talking $200 US worth of Bitcoin I'm going to purchase in 7 days from now because of this post here today. So if you guys want to earn free Bitcoin, this is how you do it. This is how I've been generating Bitcoins to my Bitcoin wallet for free. Like I said, I buy Bitcoin every 2 or 3 days. Every time I cash in my SBD dollars, I'll be doing that for about a year. And really wondering why other people aren't doing it. I mean, I am blessed. I have a following at Steemit, so, and that's not exactly easy to achieve. I have been posting there nearly daily for a year, though. It takes a lot of work to get to that point. But once you are at that point, the money coming in is significant. I mean, it really is making a huge difference, not just for me, but for other alternative media out there. All the people who are involved in this field that I am in, friends of mine like Luke Rudowski, James Corbett, Josh Sigurdson, Jeff Berwick, all these guys are currently now doing 1,000 times better than they were this time last year. And this must have the elite running scared. I mean, anarchists and libertarians and freedom-minded people are going to be millionaires in 2018, and this is going to change the world. As I said, it already is changing the world. Just look at how you can travel without having to declare your money on you anymore, because it's not actually on you. I heard a great talk the other day from Antonopoulos, Bitcoin guy, and yeah, he made some great points about how the world has changed in terms of how these regulators see it, and it's just like it is what it is now. It's just like if the authorities said, you need to declare your data. Well, sure, I could give you my USB stick and you can look at it, or even take it. But when I land in the country where I'm going to, the data, I still have access to it. It's all on the cloud. So even if they look at your Bitcoins on your phone, or they take your wallet or whatever, your hard drive, you still have the private keys. So it doesn't matter. You can still access your funds. So what an unbelievable game changer that has been. All right, let's go back to see if we have any more questions coming in from anybody here on YouTube. No YouTube super chats coming in yet. Sad to see. Just kidding. Okay, I better scroll up because I think I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff. Just bear with me, guys. You've got a lot of great comments, it looks like. Let me try to see if I could find some question marks. Okay, there's tons of stuff. I'm scrolling and scrolling. All right, here we go. I'm just going to scroll through and see if I can find a question mark or the odd interesting comment. Yeah, well, the world is going digital, so good luck, says King's Record. Who's got some great content-based recommendations for Steemit? Creative, original things, not photos or food. Thoughts. All the guys I follow, all the people I just mentioned, are really good. In fact, you know what? Just go to my Steemit, steemit.com/pressfortruth. Is there an @ there? Let me just check. Yeah, steemit.com/pressfortruth, and look at who I'm following and follow all those people. Because I like to think that I'm following people who put out solid content. So yeah, check that out for my suggestions. Okay, let's see what other questions we have. Bear with me, guys. Again, share the link if you haven't yet on your Facebook, your Twitter. Is Dan Dix a New World Order shill? Asks Joshua Garbe. I have a feeling if I answered that, you might not necessarily believe me, but I'm going to venture to say he is not. Calm before the storm. Direct energy weapons. Okay. Whole bunch of comments from Barry White. What are those boxes behind you? I wrote this. Ask. Oh, good question. These boxes are pretty darn cool. This is a Cannabis Christmas Advent calendar. So, every day we get to open a new day. You know how Christmas Advent calendars work. So today was the 19th. So I've already opened up number 19, and every day you get something new, like a joint or some shatter or some edibles or some flour, all sorts of things. Dreaming of a green Christmas, it says. Toke, smoke, and be merry. This is the Cannabis Advent Calendar 2017. It comes with a Toco pen. That is a little electronic disposable vape pen filled with some cannabis oil that they give you in this thing. So, one for my girlfriend, my fiance, I should say, and one for me right there, as was gifted to us by the maker of these things. I believe his company is called Pinecone Supply Company, Pinecone Supply Co. He hooked us up with that, and really nice. As you can see, we have some lovely Christmas decorations going on here. We got our presents all laid out, and our stockings for me and Molly and our dog. Yeah, we have a stocking for the dog. So that's that. That's the Christmas Advent calendars. It's fun. It's fun every day getting up, seeing what's going to be new in the Advent calendar. Okay, let's see what other questions we have. Is it too late to get in on BTC? Asks Ben Stuckless. I'm going to go ahead and say no, Ben. I don't think it is. It absolutely is not. I see it doing big things in 2018. Obviously, if you've been watching it like I have when it was in the hundreds of dollars, it seems like it's crazy high to be getting in now. But you know what? When it hits $50,000 or $75,000 or $80,000 by mid, June of 2018 or something like that, you're going to be saying, "Gosh, I wish I got in at 25K." So, yeah, I don't think it's too late at all. People ask me what I see as the ceiling. That's tough to say. I mean, it could go to $1 million. It's really hard to say. But I could see upwards of $100,000 by 2020, maybe even upwards of $250 by 2020. So no, I don't think it's too late to get in. And remember, it is divisible. A lot of people who are new to this space don't understand that you don't have to buy one Bitcoin. I've heard people say, "Well, I'd love to, but I can't afford it now. It's just, now it's too expensive." And I had to point out to them, you can still invest whatever amount of money you want into Bitcoin. You don't have to buy one. In fact, there's only 21 million of them that's ever going to exist. So not everyone in the world could possibly have one Bitcoin. So if you want to invest $50 worth or even $100 worth, you can. And that would work out to 0.0001 of a Bitcoin. But that's how you do it. Where do we ask questions? I think we're figuring that out and answering that right now. I'm pretty sure you've got it all figured out right where you just asked me one. If you got another one, do it again and I'll answer. The weed today has been weaponized, says Barry. Yeah, I agree. It's been radiated. It's been weaponized. They are trying to reduce the medicinal benefits of the cannabis plant because they're in bed with Big Pharma. And Big Pharma does not want to see something that can cure cancers and help people like you wouldn't believe. So that's all part of that whole getting your ducks in a line thing. Is that they need to destroy the medicinal benefits of the cannabis plant so that people won't even realize that they're no longer getting the medicinal benefits. Good point. Thank you for that. Hermie asked Bitcoin, is there so wallets are placed into your hand electronically? Bitcoin is there, so wallets are placed into your hand electronically. Okay, I guess that's not a question. Are you using video cards? Not sure what you mean by that. Perhaps you mean in my PC. But I have a card for editing, but okay, somebody asks, how do you mine Bitcoin? Bitcoin mining is has developed into a massive industry. I've got good friends of mine actually who are Bitcoin miners, some of the largest Bitcoin miners in the world. I've got a friend of mine, Joby. His company Bit Club is up to mining around $1 million worth a day, is what he's up to. And the way you do this is that you get a powerful PC machine that can run powerful chips that can do insane amounts of calculations. That's the thing now. If you want to get into Bitcoin mining, you have to have a number of advantages in order to be competitive. People have noticed that if your energy costs are too high, you're never going to turn a decent profit. And that's why guys like my friend started his Bitcoin mining farm in Iceland, because research shows electricity costs are lowest there. And because of the temperature outside, I mean, you literally don't have to run as much fans. The energy costs are lower, and therefore you turn a bigger profit on your Bitcoin mining. Other countries are the same. Energy costs are pretty low in Sweden, so there's a lot of people interested in setting up Bitcoin mining farms there. But if you as an individual want to get into this space, essentially you just buy yourself a really powerful computer, and then you would, I guess, download the network. I've never done it myself, so I'm not positive on the technical aspects of how to get involved, but you would start, you would download the network essentially and start running the calculations to try to secure some blocks. I mean, I know that's not a very good technical explanation for it because, like I said, I've never mined myself. But a good way to get into mining is to get involved with something like Joby Weeks' Bit Club, because what you do there is for your initial investment. Let's say you want to invest a couple $1,000s. What they will do with that couple $1,000s is they'll invest it into the physical hardware. They will buy a powerful hard drive in a unit to put into their mining pool so that you would be included in the huge pool that is mining Bitcoin every single day. And so your investment really pays for the hardware that's going to mine your own Bitcoins and get added to the pool. So if you want to be competitive in that space, it's good to get involved with guys like my friend Joby. But if you want to do it on your own at home, you got to have a really powerful machine, and it's a competitive space. So beware of that. Okay. Just scrolling through, looking for a few more questions. I'm going to head on back over to the Steemit in a moment too. I have people watching there live, steemit.com. The savior of the independent media. It's been pretty wild, that guys. Again, if you're not doing it yet, I don't know why you're not. It's crazy. Getting free Bitcoin every couple of days. Okay. Dan, this is Dan. How are you doing, friend? Thanks for the question, Dan. I'm doing well. Okay. A lot of comments here. And I'm not really seeing too many more questions, but I'm almost at the bottom. Let me just keep scrolling. Where do you live, dude? Asks Rafal. I live in British Columbia now. I am actually in beautiful Squamish, British Columbia. It's just about an hour outside of Vancouver. Okay, gonna continue. Wow, so many comments. Here we go. Mike Johnson asks, do you think the fires in California was a declaration of war? There's something really bizarre going on with that. I haven't put a whole lot of research into that as of yet, but what I have seen has been very bizarre. Some of the photos just simply don't make sense, where a lot of the houses seem to be completely like vaporized, and none of the trees around them are harmed. Fire are another controlled opposition, says another view. Hazmat says, anyone trying to transfer Bitcoin to cash yet? Dollars yet? It costs an arm and a leg. Yes, it can. The best way to do it is to just peer to peer. You know, find somebody that you can directly sell to. I recently just sold some to my brother, and I just had him send me a wire transfer, an e-transfer. As soon as the deposit showed up in my account, the moment I accepted the funds, I used my wallet to take a screen grab of exactly how much Bitcoin that amount was worth at that very second, and then I sent him that amount of Bitcoin to his wallet address. We avoided fees, exchange fees and stuff like that. So it's best to just find someone who you can sell to directly. Dan would like me to elaborate on how they pay me for posting. I will share with you, Dan, to make it simple for you. I did a video not that long ago, well, over a year ago now, called Steam It is a Game Changer, and Here's Why. And I'm going to share that link with you right now because it would be a heck of a lot easier for you to just go ahead and watch this video. I think I did a pretty good breakdown in that video about how it works, where the money comes from. You know, a lot of people wonder, money doesn't just come from nowhere. Who's paying for all of this, right? Well, I explain all of that in that video. So check it out in the comment section right now. And if those comments disappear because we end the broadcast, the video is called "Steam It is a Game Changer, and Here's Why." And I haven't checked Steam It in a little while, so let me just head on back over here and refresh it. We've been into this broadcast for 54 minutes now, and Steam It is, my Steam It post is all the way up to $28 already. So that's 14 SBD that I get to keep for myself, and it's trading now at 16 times So 16 times 14 is $224 that I have made in less than an hour right here on Steemit for doing what I normally do all the time anyways. So somebody asked, Dan, are you personally doing any Bitcoin cloud mining? Not personal mining, or have you ever looked into doing it, like through Genesis or Flare? I have been mining with Hashflare. I've looked into it. I'm not doing it myself. I am quite familiar with Genesis. I know they just partnered with Hive blockchain and are going to be expanding their data mining centers to Sweden this year, by the end of the year. Like, we're already almost at the end of the year, and they announced that they would be doing that. I'm friends with Joby Weeks, who runs Bit Club. It's probably the second largest, maybe the second or third largest Bitcoin mining operation in the world. And, my friends who have been involved there have been seeing some pretty good returns. So it is interesting. It's something that I kind of wish I was in on that, but I'm not. To answer the question, I'm not. I haven't personally gotten into it. But yeah, it's absolutely it's worth looking into. Check out Bit Club or Genesis along with Hive blockchain. Foxcoit asks, what do you think would be a reasonable price for Steem? I think right now it's trading at a pretty reasonable price. I mean, it's up. Let me just check the current market value of Steem. As we speak, it's trading at $2.99. I think that could easily, be upwards of $3, $4, $5. We may see a $5 Steem by mid 2018, and I think that would be reasonable because Steem is a whole nother ballpark. I mean, it's a game changer in itself. Like, where the way they designed that ecosystem to where you have the Steem Power versus SBD dollars versus your savings and this and that. It's really interesting the way it works, and I think it's so in its infancy still. It's just in beta, and if it catches on, what is possible there, and through DTube, the decentralized video sharing platform attached to the Steemit blockchain, when this catches on, I mean, the possibilities are endless. Steem could go through the roof. I mean, it could go to 100. I mean, and that would still be reasonable because it's providing a platform that is really useful for people. I mean, look at Facebook and Reddit. Steemit is like a cross between Facebook and Reddit, only you get paid to post your stuff. So it's really a no-brainer. And once more people figure this out, it's going to probably really take off and explode. So the price that it's at right now is ridiculously reasonable, I think. Okay. Mike Johnson asks, have you done interviews with Stephen Freedom Road? I don't think I have. Doesn't sound too familiar. I've done a lot of interviews, so you never know, it's possible. Rafael asks, will you be in Acapulco in February? Yes, I absolutely will be at Anarchapulco. I have attended every year since the beginning. I give a talk and I teach a workshop every year. This will be my 4th year, I guess. And yes, I will be putting on a PFT workshop there, teaching all the tricks of the trade. And you can actually save 10% off the price of the conference tickets when you use my promo code. So if you are interested in going to Acapulco in February, be sure to use promo code PFT, and you save 10% off of the price of your tickets, and that 10% goes to me. So you save 10%, and it helps me cover my costs. So it's a win-win. So affiliate code PFT in Anarchapulco at anarchapulco.com. And yes, I will be there. And again, I'll be putting on a PFT workshop showing all the tricks of the trade. How do you make PFT videos? How do you develop a brand? How do you get a press pass? How do you get into events? How do you do interviews? How do you, edit and upload videos to YouTube? How do you monetize your content? All kinds of things. I'm going to cover the whole thing. Everything that I do will be covered in this course, which will probably run for anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. It'll pretty much be a day-long course. So tickets for that are available on the website as well. And if you are going there, well, then I hope to see you there, and I hope to see you in my PFT workshop. Okay, head back over to Steemit, quickly refresh, see if we have any new questions. And I very well may wrap up the broadcast for today, folks. We're going on just about an hour now. Unless I see any other questions coming in, I got nothing on the Steam. I'm gonna head over to YouTube here and do one last check. And not too many other questions coming in. A lot of comments about me being a shill, but no new questions. So we may just go ahead and end the broadcast here today. So thank you so much for tuning in, folks. Again, please check the links in the description to find out how you can get involved with us here at Press for Truth. We need the support of you, the viewers, obviously. We don't have the funding, the backing that the mainstream corporate media gets. But what we do have is the support from you, the viewer, directly. And you can do that through Patreon, patreon.com/pressfortruth. And if you don't like Patreon, you can go to the Patreon alternative link, which is also located in the description below. And there you can choose a monthly amount. If you want to contribute to what we're doing here at Press for Truth, that's always greatly, greatly appreciated. Because I'm all in, as you guys know. I eat, sleep, and breathe PFT. And not going to be slowing down anytime soon. So with your help, we can just make it bigger and better. So that's it, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Keep fighting the good fight, and we'll see you next time.